Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922 here to get Fairy Tail episode review. This one was episode 141, Search for the Infinity Clock. Now, this one, a lot of shit happened in this one. A lot. But I think I should might as well start from the beginning with it. Beginning, basically, you have, Midnight saying, to everyone there that, oh, we're going to use this clock to destroy the world, blah, blah, blah. And he's saying we'll need a sacrifice in order to do that. Dig the goatee. Anyway, moving right along. And that's basically what he says. And we go from there to, like I said, a lot of shit happened in this episode. A lot. And basically, everyone's talking to everybody about the situation and what they need to do in Fairy Tail. Now, surprisingly enough, we also get a scene going back from Fairy Tail. We go back to the Oracion Seis, where they're going around and they're destroying churches. They're going around and they're destroying churches and wiping everyone out. Racer, let me just say right now about Oracion Seis, and I'm thinking about this. This new Oracion Seis, would they be a matchup? Would they be a serious contender against Gilmore Hearts? I'm just putting it out there. Because even though Gilmore Hearts used, most of them used Lost Magic and everything else, I'm wondering, with the new Oracion Seis, would they be able to beat Gilmore Hearts in a fight? Because the way they are now, Oracion Seis, they are on a whole different fucking level. Whole different level than when they did originally. Even Racer is disturbing. Disturbing. Like, holy shit, where did his he wasn't as evil as I thought he was originally from 7 years ago. And then we got also Aragorn, a.k.a. Now I'm just going to call him Grim Reaper. I'm calling him Grim Reaper because he's got a sickle and everything. His new name is Grim Reaper. So, Grim Reaper, even him, is saying, it seems like he was possessed? I'm putting that out there right now. Because when he's talking to them, it seems as if, oh, I don't know, remember where I was yesterday. Huh? It seemed to me like he wasn't there. He wasn't in charge of his faculties. You know what I mean? His brain, his head. He wasn't really all there. And it seems like this is turning into an interesting thing. I mean, the ones that go out to destroy the church, like I said, is Grim Reaper, Racer, Cobra, and Angel, and that teddy bear guy. And there's this scene where, oh my god, Grim Reaper, he goes in, he's got like new powers and everything. There's new magic. It's not wind, he's using lightning. Lightning. Against the guards of the church. And then after he attacks him with the lightning, everything, that bear guy, he goes, ding, 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 and he strikes lightning again as well. And then we got a scene with obviously Angel and Cobra. He has incredible listening skills, Cobra. He's like, he can hear inside the church, down in the basement, who's there. And he says that's the person there is doing concealing magic. And he's like, you can't trick me. And they blow the shit out of the building. And then we got Angel also. She just throws those heaven coins, and these two fucking dudes come out of nowhere and beat the... Oh, man, this new version of Oracion Seis is like OP to the max. And we get a scene with Cobra. He's thinking about Kanana, the one from Fairy Tail, who is his snake. And it seems like from this conversation he has with Angel that he's basically telling her, oh, I have to kill her soon. And an Angel's saying, like, no, you can't do that. We have to stick with the mission. They're totally badass right now, Oracion Seis. And then we go, after that situation, we go back to Fairy Tail, and Freed, Big Slow, and Evergreen come in, and they're getting the load. I'm just going to tell right now, just tell you everything that happened within Fairy Tail, and then I'll get back to what happened in the other part of the episode. So they get back, Freed, Big Slow, and Evergreen. And, you know, they're getting the 411 about the whole situation with the Infinity Clock and everything, and that's the story. And Freed tells them that while he was out shopping for groceries, he heard these guards talking, and it was basically, you see a picture, you see the guards searching the rubble of the church that was attacked, saying that they saw this guy that went really fast, and this guy who used wind magic. Pretty much. That's what he said he saw them talking about. And that's pretty much what went down there. Now, they're discussing, like I said, about the whole situation, and that they need to get the clock, and they need to stop Oracion Seis. It's becoming a problem. And while this is going on, Kinana, who's in bed, she gets up out of bed, gets up, walks downstairs, and it's like, oh, Kinana, you should go back to bed. You're stumbling. Go back to bed. She grabs a fork, and she proceeds to write with the fork these ancient ruin things. And her eyes are like, bugging out. And it's like, oh, holy shit, here comes a snake. And then she faints. And from what Levy was trying to pronounce from these ruins was this person named Will. Forgot the guy's last name, but I know his first name was Will, and he basically was the author. Yes, the author of the book, The Starry Night. Heavens of the Starry Night. He was the author of the book. And supposedly, he was a celestial wizard. But at the same time, he was a member of Zentopia. He was a cardinal of Zentopia. So pretty much what happened was, from this situation was that that Kinana, she wrote down things on the wall that wasn't listed in the dictionary, that because Lucy uses this dictionary to find out the whole situation with it. And she's saying, you know, that the information that she put on the wall, Kinana, is not in the book. So it's like she knows something. Pretty much, like, she knows the lowdown here. And pretty much what occurs is that they realize now that whatever's going down here, it's big and it's huge. And apparently this person, Will, whatever you want to call him, I forgot his last name, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. And Natsu, but the whole episode, Natsu was like, let's go now! He doesn't think. Natsu doesn't think. He's an idiot. Like, he just wants to go there. And Gray's like, you're gonna do that. So, during this ruckus, Kana wakes up, and she tells him, okay, you know, seeing as how you guys want to go search for this Oracion Seis, why don't I help you? So she basically takes her tarot cards, and she throws them on the map of... And tarot cards that have each member of Fairy Tail on it. And she groups each member of Fairy Tail in a team. So we've got Natsu, like she groups like Natsu, Lucy, Elfman, and Michelle, Lobster. And she also groups a bunch of people. Panther Lily, Charlotte, and Happy, which means Natsu won't be able to fly. Gajil with... what's her face? Juvia. She's pissed off about that. Gray against Gray against, with Freed, which was really bizarre. Evergreen with Urza and Max. And Wendy with Big Slow? Very interesting setups. And they're all going to go out and they're going to search for the clock. And obviously Oracion Seis. Now, at the same time, we got also Gildarts finally. Gildarts and, I forgot that girl's name. Mana? That other one? I forgot her name. They're going off, and they're actually going to Michelle's hometown, where she lives. Where she once lived. It's all in shambles and shit and everything. And what happens is that they're investigating it, basically. And next week's episode is going to show you what happens there. Now, back to what else happened in this chapter, this episode. It concerned Legion. Now, basically, what went down, you know, the Cardinal, the priest, who's like very shady and everything, he tells the Legion, okay, seeing as how Coco is in prison, we have to give you a new member. So, from this, he tells them, okay, this is going to be a new member. It's from this guy who's in prison. And they're like, okay, who's this guy? So all you hear are these chains going, and this guy shows up. Holy shit, this guy belongs in Jurassic Park. He looks like a dinosaur. And he doesn't talk. He used telepathy to talk to people. So he comes out and he's like, his name is Gotaman? Gotaman? I think that's his name, Gotaman. And he uses this power. He has this magic that destroys anything in his path. Like, it just destroys. So he's going to be part of the Legion now. And they're all going to... And the only thing that was said with him present was that if we're going to go, Dan says, you have to promise us one thing. If we're going to finish this mission, we're going to do this mission. If we finish this mission, you have to let Coco go. Pretty much. And that's what he says. And basically, after that, they're going to do... And after that whole situation, they head out. Now, also what happens in this episode was Lahar, from the captain of the council knights. He shows up and he's questioning the bishop, the cardinal, the guy who I just told you about. And he's telling Lahar, no, I don't, maybe you should stop. The default of the Oracion Seis escaping is the council's fault. Don't come here accusing the church. This guy, this cardinal, he did it. I'm telling you right now, guys, he did it. And you know what? This episode in the end was actually pretty fucking dark. Because what happens is, after he sends Lahar packing, he tells him to leave, situation happens while Coco is in the cell. And we get a little scene also in the end with Natsu going up with Lucy and Elfman and Michelle. And they're going up against... Ow. Hairs. Byro and that teddy bear guy. Really? But basically what happens is Cardinal is while he's about to come into the prison cell to interrogate this other guy who's in the same cell with Cocoa. And this guy's telling Cocoa that he was supposed to do something that he didn't do, and he was supposed to say something or know something and tell it to the Cardinal, to the Cardinal. I forgot that guy's name, unfortunately. Cardinal guy. And he didn't do that. And that's when Cardinal comes in and he's like, he tells Coco, watch, Coco, to people, who leave, who don't follow the way of Zentopia, goes against Zootopia. And we don't see it, but you hear it. Oh my god, this guy did something to him. I think he crushed him. I think he used his magic to crush him, and he was screaming his lungs out. And I'm like, oh shit. Now, how come this can't happen in the freaking manga? And that's what he basically did. And we get in the last scene, like I said, of the whole thing with, and we also see Kanana holding this, it looks like Plu, holding Plu, and she's in front of this tree. And that's pretty much how it ends, more or less. And next week, we're going to get fights, and interesting fights. Wendy goes up against Grim Reaper. So yeah, you got Wind Magic against Wind Magic, and with Big Slow. And I think we're going to get Gildarts again. I think Gildarts is going to fight. Should be interesting with that. But yeah, this is getting strange. I want to say this filler is getting very interesting. And what I told you guys before, Michelle. And in this episode, when they mentioned Will, forgot his last name, the guy I told you about that was found out, this Will person who's the author of the Starry Night, she had a look on her face like said, So, this is some serious shit going down. Something going down here, man. Something going down. But this week's episode, I'm going to give this... I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 again. Because Oracion Seis, man. Oh, man. That was awesome. That was awesome. And like I said, the question for this episode of Fairy Tail is Oracion Seis. Could they, if they had been like this, been a threat to Gilmore Hearts? I know they were part of the same, they were part of the same triangle of that alliance. But if they went up against the Gilmore Hearts, could they defeat them as they are now? And I'll tell you right now, if this was the same, if there's no stupid Madoshi power, and the Fairy Tail back when they fought Oracion Seis, fought this Oracion Seis, I'll say right now, Fairy Tail gets crushed. Fairy Tail gets crushed, man. Grim Reaper does wind magic, does lightning. Holy shit, it's like storms. Racer, Cobra, Angel. Lucy would die. And she fought the Angel she fought last time around, but it was this Angel. Lucy dies. That's why I said it. Lucy dies. But, okay. But that's all I got for you guys. Good episode of Fairy Tail. 4 out of 5. I'm sorry, I went to Oracion Seis for that. And number 1, that's all I got to say. See you guys.